happy Tuesday.
Yes, happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a good start to the week.
Yeah, I hope you had a wonderful weekend as well, because it was hot.
It was hot. It was my birthday.
It was. We had
so
fun.
It was so much fun. Thank you very much to everyone also for sending your kind messages through Instagram and Facebook and everything. We really appreciate you. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so, so much for everybody's kind support and messages and direct messages and everything from Sunday's video as well. I am overwhelmed. It's amazing. It's incredible how we are all not alone in these situations. So thank you. Thank you for everybody's kind support.
As you know, our Paris videos are finished, the Florida videos are finished, so we kind of wanted to do like a little recap of our Florida trip from last year and just kind of talk about like the good points, the bad points, just sort of like some highlights from the trip.
Yeah. Now I know our community has grown over the past few months, and if you are one of those new people, hello and welcome. And if you haven't already, click that red button down below and subscribe, and to make sure to smash that bell button as well. Join our community. We would love you to take part in this wonderful community that we have. So, shall we get on with it?
Let's get on with it.
The last time we went to Florida was last September, and we were there for 2 weeks. We did a lot of, you know, the traditional Disney parks, Universal. We also threw some Legoland in there as well, because attraction tickets sent us over there. We'll talk about that very, very soon. So, of course, with our flights, we flew with BA. I know a lot of you do wonder why we travel with BA and not with Virgin or Norwegian or anybody like that. It's the fact of it was the cheapest at the time. To be honest, we actually want a flight that will get us from A to B, you know. We don't mind. The flights that we had were incredibly quiet. They boarded us within like, what, 10-15 minutes?
I remember we were sitting there in between the seats and we were just hoping that no one was sitting between us, and they just said, boarding complete. We're like, yes!
And we looked up and we looked around and was like, there are loads of rows empty. Like, it was super, super quiet. That's always a plus. We do actually notice that if you do travel in September time, it tends to be a little bit more quieter as well. Flights were absolutely fine. Absolutely on time. The only bad thing that I would say about it is probably the food, which, you know, I think everyone can agree about. Like, aeroplane food is not that great. No. Especially when you're coming home. So from Florida to the UK, and yeah, it's not that tasty. It's
not like the good old days when we were upgraded to business class.
Once. Just once. We've only ever experienced that once, and that's probably the last time we'll ever experience that.
And I will cherish that moment every day.
I will highly suggest that if you are very picky with food, do what we do, and that is to bring meal deals, bring snacks, lots of water. On the way to Florida, we bought like, you know, like the Boots meal deals. And then on the way home, we had a sandwich for breakfast, and that was amazing compared to that little box that you get.
And a sprinkles cupcake. Yeah. Brought that home. And it actually stayed intact, which is really good. And it tasted great.
Yeah, and you can take them through security as well. It's all good. All right, let's move over to our hotels. We get a lot of questions about where do we stay? Is it any good? We're thinking of staying there. And we're going to answer all your questions for you right now. So our first hotel that we stayed at was over on Cabana Bay. Now, we have stayed there before. We absolutely love that place. It's probably like our favourite. Even though it's like the first like Universal hotel we've ever stayed at.
Yeah, that's true.
But we always keep coming back. It's just a really nice resort. It's got like bowling alley, it's got a gym, it's got a really good food court in there. It's got 2 fabulous pools, a lazy river as well.
I think it's just the fact of the value of it. It's a value resort, and the price that you can spend on it is absolutely amazing.
We were very lucky, and we were able to upgrade our room. Before we flew, we actually managed to upgrade our room to a Volcano Bay view. And it was pretty impressive. Big windows overlooking the volcano. Massive room. I think it was because we had an access room, like an easy access room, so everything was a lot more bigger, a lot more wider, which was very tall ceilings. It was beautiful. You were able to see even the fireworks over at Epcot, and if you actually looked a little bit carefully, you'll be able to see like Magic Kingdom's fireworks as well. I'd say overall, I mean, that view was just like the selling point of everything. It was just a normal standard room, but it had an amazing view.
So if you are looking to try to get that view, the best thing to do is to either try to call Universal before you fly. I wouldn't try and do it when you arrive, because the majority of people who would do that anyway, everyone does that when you go to hotels. Do email them, do contact them before you fly. It may happen, but you know, it's best to be prepared for them to say, unfortunately we couldn't get it for you, but you never know, you could do it.
At least just put it down as a request, hoping that it's going to happen. But to be honest, any room at that place is really good. There were a few little bad points that were happening while situated in that tower block. Yeah. And that is, you are quite far away from check-in. You're quite, you know, you're quite a walk away from like the food courts to everything pretty much. The only thing that you're really, really close to is Volcano Bay, which is literally a hop, skip and a jump and you're there.
Literally to the point where you have to go through security and then you're there. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
If you are looking to go to Volcano Bay, the tower blocks are amazing.
Yes, so if you are staying there, you have to make sure that you give yourself a few extra minutes to take into account to catching the bus, the transportation and all that. Which moves over to transportation. Transportation is completely free when you're going over from the resorts to the Universal parks. Yes. Very, very efficient, very, very quick. It seems to be that the bus does not move until another bus turns up and then they'll drive off. That's correct. So no one is really left hanging at the bus stops. The only time when we've ever noticed that there was a bit of a queue was like during like Halloween Horror Nights, or you know, on the evenings where it can be a little bit slow, and the traffic as well on the crossroads areas seems to be a bit of a problem. But we've never really had any situations. You get your own bus, so from Cabana Bay, it will go straight to the parks. It doesn't share with any other hotels as well. That's really good. There are no buses to any other parks, you know, like Disney or anything like that. So if you are considering staying at Cabana Bay for, you know, for the duration of your visit, I would suggest probably hiring a car. Maybe that might be. But overall, fantastic place. Really good food, really good breakfast, dinners, everything. Really, really good. The gym as well. It's a fully equipped gym and I was pretty surprised by it. And even my coach was like, oh, we could do a really good set for you now. So while she's at home, she's sending me over my workouts. So that was our first week. We stayed over at Cabana Bay. The second week, we actually stayed over on Disney property. However, it wasn't a Disney hotel. No. It was situated in the Disney Springs hotel resort. And it was Wyndham. Yeah, the Wyndham Garden Hotel, right next door to the Disney Springs, literally a hop, skip and a jump. Over the bridge. Over the bridge. And you're there. Yeah, again, an amazing hotel. We really, really liked it. The convenience of being really close to Disney Springs was a really big selling point for us. And as well, it's in the area where we stay at Clarion Inn, Lake Buena Vista. So it was convenient for Crossroads as well, which unfortunately is going. And I'm really upset about that. And as well, it was really easy to get onto the I-4 as well if you wanted to go over to Universal. Another good little tip as well. Say if you are in a Disney park resort, in Disney park on the day, and you notice that the bus to your hotel is a little bit later on, you can actually jump on a bus to Disney Springs. Yeah. Just get off and then walk to the hotel. Yes. It was a lifesaver for us. Yeah. It really helped us out a lot. It didn't really take that long. I mean, I would say it was about, what, 10-15 minute walk, but it really all depends on if you were going to stop off at, you know, at Starbucks, or if you were going to stop off for food or something. It was a really nice walk back to your hotel. So yeah, that will go over to our transportation thing, which was, they do actually have free transportation that will take you from the hotel to the Disney parks. Yes. There is a bus that will take you to Universal, but it's at a charge, and I think it's a public bus. I think. That's correct. But they are very convenient. We've never used them before because we always used Uber. If you're ever thinking of staying there, they have the timetables and all of that. Yes. And how to get there. With the free Disney transportation, it is shared by everybody else who's in that Disney Springs complex. Yes. So just take that into account, that sometimes the bus can be extremely busy. And those buses as well, they will go to 2 parks. Yeah. So like not just one park. Yeah, so one to like Animal Kingdom and the Magic Kingdom, and then the other one to Epcot and Hollywood. Yeah. So they don't change. They're always the same parks. Yeah. We've noticed. Yeah. If you have like a reservation or a certain time to go to something, do be going in ahead of time. Yeah. You know? And so like what we said before, you know, going home, always get the Disney bus to Disney Springs, just a normal Disney bus straight to Disney Springs. That will be a lot quicker and a lot easier, and it won't be as crowded. So also the last thing to take into consideration, talking about taking the Disney back to Disney Springs, is that after a certain time there will not be a Disney Springs bus at night, so you will have to take your resort one back to your hotel. Yeah. So do remember, don't just think, oh, we'll get the Disney Springs bus. They'll say, sorry, there's no Disney Springs bus after like, I think it's like 7 or 8 p.m. I think they kind of start from like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then I think it's like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Yeah, I can't really quite remember. But just ask the Disney cast members; they'll tell you the exact times. They change on like a regular basis. We've never had a problems with them.
No,
you know,
never.
Even when we was at Mickey's Not So Scary, we never really had any issues whatsoever.
Never.
In fact, no, we did manage to get a bus to. We managed to get a bus to a resort, and then walked over to Disney Springs.
And it was easier. So.
Which was, what was it, Saratoga?
Saratoga Springs, yeah, we did.
So we were able to walk over.
We just walked over the bridge into Disney Springs. So.
But yeah, never really had much problems with that.
Exactly.
Alrighty, let's go over to our theme park. So like
yes.
what we said, we did Universal, we did Disney, we also did Volcano Bay, which of course is part of Universal, but it was a brand new park, and we also did Legoland. So, Universal, what was the best thing about Universal that we did?
Obviously the thing with Universal was the Jimmy Fallon ride. We had been really excited because obviously the old Twister ride had been taken, which we were there on the last day. I was actually really surprised with the ride. I was expecting it to be very similar to Despicable Me, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. It was actually a really good ride. It was good fun. Yeah. Good show. I love the show with the harmonised guys and the #Panda.
Yeah, I think to be honest, that bit personally for me was better than the actual ride. Dare I say it? I think it's because I'm not really a Jimmy Fallon sort of watcher.
That's true.
I don't watch it all the time, so there were some things that you don't really understand.
Yeah.
But it's good fun. It's good fun.
I thought like the actual whole ride itself, the way it was done, it was really good. It kind of reminded me a bit like Soarin' a little bit.
Alrighty, the worst. Now, just to let you know that these are our opinions. Yeah. There is nothing that really stuck out to us like, oh my goodness, I hated this. We're just picking out, some things that the good, the bad, and the surprised.
Yeah, and some of these things are like we've loved in the past.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we weren't impressed with, we were just hoping it'd be a little better, was Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. It wasn't our favourite this year. Again, take everything with a pinch of salt. We didn't think the shows were good. We didn't think the houses were really good. The scare zones weren't as good. Like, obviously, I will say one thing: Scarecrow and the Plumhouse one, I actually thought were really good. They gave me the best scares. But just everything, I didn't feel like the previous ones. Yeah,
it was almost like because we've been to previous ones before, it felt like some things were repeated a little bit.
Yes.
Now, obviously, if you were brand new and it was your first time and you absolutely loved it, that's perfect.
You've never experienced previous ones like other ones, so you wouldn't know what to expect. You haven't got something.
And to be fair, it is good. It is really good. I just, however, was expecting a better, push, another level to something, and didn't really feel it. Alrighty. So, what really surprised us? What surprised me, I think, was because we stayed longer on Universal property, we were able to explore City Walk a lot more.
Yes.
And we were able to experience a brand new sushi place.
That's true.
And Manatees as well.
Yeah,
I was like, this is
Bar.
amazing. Like, there was an area that we never really went to.
No,
and we explored it a lot more, and we was actually pleasantly surprised. Like, this sushi place that was outside of it's outside of Burger King. They did really, really good sushi for a little quick service area, and it was really quiet up there as well.
I know,
it was really nice.
Obviously we went to Manatees, which had such an array of flavours of frozen yoghurt.
And you can get this little tub, and you can go little.
So good, and then the top, we just loved it. We loved going there because it was just something we loved doing. So
really, really surprised us, and we really enjoyed it. Volcano Bay. We're going to give this a separate title because we've never been to Volcano Bay before. No. What were the good points about Volcano Bay?
Where to start?
It is breathtaking.
It's beautiful. The scenery is amazing. Yeah. The fact that we were able to go for a cabana. Yes. Which made it even better, made us experience the park, I think, even more.
If there is a large group of you and wanted the convenience of a cabana, actually working it out and splitting it between, like, I think you can fit up about 8 people in a cabana, so if you've got around that amount of people, I mean, we shared it with 5 people, it actually came out quite affordable, really, for the sheer amount of things that were included in it. So, like, you got your free towel hire, you had your locker hire, you had somewhere to hunker down if it was raining, because Florida is very notorious for that.
I think the biggest selling point of those cabanas is the fact that you have the tablet where you are able to pick your rides. As if you didn't know a cabana, you have to have a tapu, which is like a little wristband. You have to go to the rides if you're not in a cabana, and you have to tap to get a wait time, and then you go back. With the cabana, it had everything there. You didn't have to run on the other side of the park. It made it so convenient, and the food comes to you, and it's just a really great experience. So definitely, if you are looking into it, do it.
I get a lot of questions for people who are like, what's it like when they weigh you? Because everybody gets weighed when you go on a ride.
Yes.
Do not panic whatsoever. I think there was only 2 water rides that they only wanted a certain weight that you could go up to. The rest of them, seriously, I think an elephant can go on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the weight of an elephant. Like, seriously, you'll be absolutely fine. Yeah. I got on every single ride with 5, you know, sharing rafts with 5 other people and stuff, and still never had a problem. So don't worry about that. What surprised us? I think personally, the food. The food really surprised me. Like, good sushi, good pizza.
Good burgers.
Actually, the food tasted quite light and it wasn't heavy.
That's true.
So it was really nice. So when you're eating, because like I had the Hawaiian pizza, I also had some sushi as well, and I never felt really full where I was going back into the water, and you know, and you get that sort of like sicky sort of stuffed feeling. Never really had that problem at all whatsoever.
Very good. I had the sliders. Amazing food. Yeah, again, like Steph said, really good.
Alright, moving over to Disney that we all love and enjoy. Okay, what was the best highlight?
So, of course, visiting Pandora.
Yeah.
Going to the Avatar world, the new area of Animal Kingdom. Yeah. The ride, just so good.
Nighttime was, it was amazing, wasn't it?
We also got to saw like a bit of the Rivers of Light, which was amazing. We absolutely adored that show. It was really good.
Bucketing down with rain though.
It was good rain as well. It was still a great show.
But it was still good. So the worst thing that we experienced, one thing that really does highlight in my head was Be Our Guest.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sorry for anyone who loved Be Our Guest. We do talk more in detail, you know, on the video, on that Be Our Guest review video that we did. We were just a little bit disappointed for the money that you paid for. I mean, if you were on dining plan, then yeah, I could, you know, we could understand. But we weren't on dining plan and we were paying, you know,
full whack
for it. Yeah, there were some things that were a little bit of an issue. For example, you had a starter which was a salad, and it was just, it almost looked like a bag of Florette with a few tomatoes. And it was like $10 for this thing, and it was like,
a lot of money.
Oh my life.
And that was what the waiter recommended me.
Yeah.
He said, I recommend the salad, it's really, really good. And I was just like, okay, I'll go for it.
Yeah, there were a few little issues that were happening where it was, there was a delay on food. Our entrees came out before our appetizers. There was a lot of things, and you could tell that the server himself, you know, there's nothing wrong with him at all. We've got no problems with him. I think he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was incredibly stressed.
Yes.
And it made me kind of think about, you know, how the other cast members are in that place as well, whether or not it is really high pressure for them. That's the kind of vibe that we got. Yeah. Even though when we walked in, it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, like goosebumps and everything. And yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous place to eat. It was just the service was a little bit rushed, or it was a little bit complicated, or some things happened, and then you could tell that, you know, the cast member was really, really stressed. Like, he had a lot of tables to deal with, and he was just like, and there was no fault of him, and he was really nice and polite, and we were nice and polite to him. And maybe next time we might try, you know, like lunchtime or something like that. We believe that the menu's changed.
Yes, apparently it has changed.
So apparently it's got really, really good.
Yes.
And so yeah,
have a better experience.
Yeah, we'll never rule out that restaurant. We will never rule it out, because you know, there are some good bits to it. We are the type of people that will give something and never go.
Always.
Anything that surprised us at Disney this year?
Flight of Passage. Yeah. Hands down, the best ride in Disney. The best ride, the feeling, just everyone says it, and it's always the same ride. Yeah. Soarin' 2.0 or Soarin' Gone Crazy.
Very clever.
So good.
The whole hype for it as well. So like when you're in your queue and then you get divided to go into these separate rooms, and then you get psyched up and knowing what sort of mission it is and everything like that. I mean, the detailings of it is really, really fun.
My favourite detail was when you're in the ride, if you've been on the ride, you kind of feel in between your legs the fact that the Banshee's breathing, and it just feels weird. Yeah. It's amazing. A fantastic ride, and definitely worth getting a fast pass for, guys. 100%.
Alright, our next park that we're going to talk about is a place that we've never been to before, and that is Legoland. Attraction Tickets and Merlin, they kindly invited us over to Legoland in Florida. We were really, really surprised by it. So like, the best points about it was how fun it actually is for adults.
There's a lot more for adults than you think, and I don't know. I love the mini land. I love all the kids rides and the wooden roller coasters. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, and I think it is like targeted not only for kids, but as well it's targeted for families. So there is something to do for adults as well there. The worst thing about Legoland.
Worst thing, I wasn't a fan of the water ski show. It wasn't my cup of tea. I thought it was a little bit boring, but obviously I think it was more directed to children.
Yes.
Obviously. The stunts and everything were great. I just think the story wasn't as good I was hoping, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
My worst part was the majority of the park was actually closed.
That's true.
It was all seasonal openings, so they have a water park that wasn't open, and there was another section as well, I think, that wasn't open as well. That was a little bit of a disappointment. You know, obviously I can understand, you know, being a seasonal thing, and there wasn't many people in the park at the time, so you could totally understand on a business point of view that they did close it, you know, close certain sections down, which we totally understood, but there was plenty for us to do.
Yeah, there was so much. We kept on finding new places we never thought.
Alright, the next bit. What things surprised us about Legoland?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say Ninjago.
Yeah.
That was a really fun ride.
I didn't get it! I never understood it. I don't know what I was doing. I never understood it. That was probably another worst thing as well. Ellie was really good at it.
Ellie was amazing at it. She did a great job.
I was just terrible.
But yeah, it was just something, a nice ride, a new refreshing ride that was a little bit different compared to your normal shooting games.
Yes.
You know, you just use your hands.
And of course, another thing to surprise you about is how big that park is.
It's massive.
Like, we thought, oh, it could be like a half-day sort of situation. By the time we got through, say, about 3/4 of the park, even though some places were closed, you know, because of the season, we noticed it was closing. Like, we were just like, oh.
What time is it? It's going to be closing time.
And we needed to try some apple fries, which luckily we were able to try some, which were amazing. And that was another thing that we were surprised about as well, is that they have their own personalised iconic food for that park, and that was the apple fries.
Yes. Beautiful,
amazing, and you should try them if you're there. Okay, so talking about food, we're just going to summarise what is the best food. What was the best food that you had over at Universal?
There's so much to choose from at Universal, but I'm just going to have to say the top one for me was the sushi.
Yeah, the sushi bar
so
was really good, and Menchie's.
Yeah,
I was very happy with Menchie's.
Yeah.
The best food that you tried at Disney? For me, it has to be the, what's it called? The Rapunzel and the Little Mermaid breakfast.
Trattori al Forno.
Yes, the Bon Voyage, the breakfast thing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Just seeing all the characters, the breakfast food was really good and really good value.
It was so surprising, like something so completely like different.
Yeah.
Like the food was just different. A different type of breakfast. And it was just, it's yummy.
And it was,
so
I think it was the best breakfast we had in Disney property.
Yes.
By far.
And the best food off property.
The place that we went to that we really, really loved was Sonny's Barbecue, when we went with Zoe after we did the Manatee experience. Amazing food. I loved it. I know it's not the best barbecue place you can get, but it was really good. That we
were hungry for barbecue. Yes. We saw Sonny's and we were like, yeah, this is actually really good. I like this.
It was good.
Okay, the best non-park thing or attraction we did.
Do we need to say it?
This is hands down like the best thing, and that was the Manatees.
Yes.
If you've not seen that video, we will link the playlist all in our description box below. The main purpose of actually doing this trip was for Zoe. We actually surprised her because her partner Rob spoke to us and said, "Hey, would you surprise her with like going somewhere?" And we suggested going to see the manatees and swim with the manatees, and it was the best thing ever. Even though it was low season.
Yeah, we didn't see many, but we saw a few.
Yes, so we did see quite a few. And yeah, we spent a good like 3-4 hours just floating around in the water, and then we just saw some wild manatees, and they weren't phased at all. We never swam up to them. All we did is we just floated, and the manatees just came over, carried on nibbling, doing whatever they want to do,
munching away, and then when they came up for air, you could touch them, and it was it was an amazing experience. And
we highly recommend, if you're ever thinking about doing something like this, is to go to one of these places.
Yeah, and in the video that we actually put out, it has all the information of where we actually went, who we went with. So if you want to check that out, again, look at the playlist. Yeah, it's all in there for you.
And always make sure that you go to a place that's very reputable and who go by the laws and the guidelines, you know, with encountering wild animals and things like that.
Yes.
Because it's really important that you
follow those rules.
So if we could turn back time, what would you change about the vacation?
2 things I would change.
Okay.
The first thing I would do, I would have actually swapped hotels.
Oh yeah.
I would have stayed at the Wyndham at the start, and then Cabana Bay at the end, if we knew we were going to get that view, obviously, because obviously it may have changed.
Yeah, that was quite hard to actually part from that view.
Yeah, it was a bit hard. And I think the second thing I would do is not actually do Halloween Horror Nights.
I think I would have done Halloween Horror Nights, but only for like 2 or 3 nights, and we wouldn't have gone for like the frequent fear pass that we did. It was only because, like what we mentioned before, we felt like we got enough entertainment and excitement, and we got enough done in like 2 or 3 days. Because we got the frequent fear, we felt like we needed to go every night that we could go, and it kind of stopped us from doing other things over at Disney. Yeah,
so I think that's what I would have changed.
Yeah. So was there anything that we missed doing? Going from what we said before, I think there was a lot of stuff at Disney that we said we were going to try and do, like go to Beaches and Cream, and try other new restaurants, and
didn't have the time.
We just didn't have the time. And I think if we did have that, you know, if we only went to Universal, say about 2 or 3 times when we was at Cabana Bay, we would have had the time.
We would have done more, and I think.
Yeah.
But and like we've always said, we said in the vlogs as well, 2 weeks is just not enough.
Yes.
But you know, we still had an amazing trip.
Yes, like what Dave said, we really did have an amazing time. Caught up with some YouTuber friends, we caught up with some Disney friends as well when we worked out there. Because we only were there for 2 weeks, we actually did as much as we possibly could to really enjoy it and to hold so many memories, which we still do now. So yeah, there you go. That is our run through of our reviews of what we liked, what we didn't like in our vacation. If you did like this video, guys, give it a massive thumbs up. Really, really appreciate it. And if you've not already, click that red button down below. Smash that bell button as well at the side of it.
Yes.
And yeah, join our community.
Indeed. And again, like we said in the beginning of the video, let us know in the comment section your highlights of the trip.
Yes.
Or any trip you've been to this year or last year. Yes. Let us know in the comment section. And we shall see you guys
in our next one.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.